One of the obvious signs of the end of time is going to be this, Euphrates River. And people ask this question, when this river, the Euphrates River, will dry up, when this will happen, because a lot of people, they pinned their hope on these rivers because they want it to be dried so that the Mahdi, the Dajjal, the end of time will take place right away. So I want you to understand this thing. A few things that I want to share with you. Number one is going to be the miracle of the hadith that I want to share with you, inshallah. And number two, also I want to show you some pictures. For example, take a look at this picture. I'm going to be telling you also at the same time when we can expect the end of time, when we can expect this river will completely dry, so that the coming of the Mahdi, the Dajjal, the Yakhruj Dajjal min ardi bil mashriq, that the hadith prophesied will happen, will take place. We'll talk about that, but let me show you a few things. As I said, as you can see right here, even sisters, this picture, it shows that, as you can see, this picture is showing that this river is full. There is a lot of water, okay? Maybe these are coming from rainwater, but we know at one point in time, the Euphrates River, it had a lot of water, but right now it's drying out. The next picture that I want to show you is this one. You can see some people are putting some lines there on the riverside, and this river is flowing a lot of water. And this one, as you can see, there is a looks like there is some kind of like land in the middle of the river. So this river, the point here is that the river is always full. It was full, I should say, in the past, all the time. There was no problem. But recently, as you can see, this picture will show you. Take a look at this picture. This picture is showing that this river, okay, it's completely dried, okay, and you can see this this land, the soil is kind of like breaking out, and you can see another one. For example, this lady, she is sitting there, and she is probably lamenting the fact that there is no water. So the situation is getting really bad. And there is another one. This man, he is walking around, as you can see, the lady behind, and they are trying to figure it out. Dear brothers and sisters, the miracle of the hadith is that Rasulullah, he prophesied something that is already happening. Okay, he said about the Euphrates River, once it will dry up. Okay, as you can see, the river is dried up completely, but it is not completely dried up. I should not say that. It will be dried up in the future, and then you see the mountains of gold will be revealed. Rasulullah, he said, once this will happen, once people see the mountain of gold, they will fight over it. Okay, they will be fighting over it, and they will be like, you know what, this is my river, this is my portion of the river, this is what I want from this river, this part is mine. So the Prophet, he already said in the hadith 1400 years ago, he said yaktatila, that these people will fight, yaktatilu nasu alayhi fayaktalu. The Prophet said that over this river, people will fight and people will be killed. So 99 people will be killed out of 100, and each of them will think that they are the one who will survive. They are the one who will live. But in fact, all of them, 99 of them out of 100 will die. If you take a look at right now, the situation of this river right now, there are multiple countries that are involved to claim the water. Syria is involved, you have Turkey is involved, you have Iraq is involved. Turkey is using dam to block the water going to Syria. Syria is also having, digging their own or building their own dams. They are also blocking the water to go to the Euphrates River eventually, which is in Iraq mostly. And then also Iraqi people, they are now complaining. They're saying that there is no more water because of the fighting over this water. So the hadith talks about that kind of fighting that will happen. I mean, this is not literal way, but the fighting that is taking place right now, yaktatilu nasu alayhi fayaktalu. That part of the hadith, subhanallah, is proving to be true today, because we are seeing people are fighting, people are following the hadith. The hadith says people will fight over it, and the countries are fighting over it. They are building dams. They're creating this blockage for the water. Number two thing that I also want to talk to you about this river, as I said in the beginning, when we can see, or when we will see that this river will completely dry up, and what time we can hope, what time we can expect. Now, a few things that I want to make mention. Number one, before I give you the answer, okay? Number one is that if the river is completely dried up, doesn't mean the river will give or reveal the gold and silver, the mountain of gold. Okay, it doesn't mean that way. Rasulullah said that yushikul furat ay yahsira an kanzun min dhahab faman hadaru fala yakhuz minhu shay'a. Soon the river of Euphrates will reveal gold, mountain of gold. It doesn't mean if the river, let's say, is dried up tomorrow. Okay, somebody goes to the river and they see there is no water. Okay, it's completely dried. Does it mean that the end of time is here? Does it mean Mahdi is here? Does it mean Dajjal is in New York, or Dajjal is in London, or does it mean that Dajjal is in somewhere in the Middle East, or in Syria or Turkey? No, it doesn't have to be that way. It can happen if it does, that the river will dry up completely. Okay, it's gone completely, but then Allah Azza wa Jal may send rain to fill it up again. So just because you see the river is dry doesn't mean anything, because the end time, the hour, لا يعلم ما تقوم الساعة إلا الله. Allah Azza wa Jal said, Rasul said that Allah Azza wa Jal is the only one. لا يعلم ما تقوم الساعة. Nobody knows that the hour except إلا Allah, except Allah. So if the river does dry up, doesn't mean that you will see Mahdi coming and Dajjal coming. However, there are a few things that we have to take into consideration. Number one, the way the whole world is right now, we can say we are living at a very close time to the end of time. In fact, Rasulullah said, my coming and the end of time is a distance between two fingers. And the ulama, they mention that we are living, if the whole world, the time is, let's say, a whole one day, we are living in the late afternoon. Okay, so we are almost reaching the sundown time, okay, sunset time. So we are almost very close, we are almost there. If you take a look at the world affairs, okay, Muslims are becoming affected with fitna more. People are walking naked, for example. The minor signs, a lot of them have been fulfilled. So if you take a look at the world affairs, how people are conducting themselves, how people are living their life, you can say that yes, if the river does dry this time, it will not be unlike other time when it dried in the past. It might indicate very strongly, okay, the word is very important here, very strongly, it might have a very strong indication that indeed the coming of the Mahdi and the Dajjal is very, very near, and the Yajuj and Majuj. But again, as I said, I'm not someone who is going to tell you, to believe this, believe that. I'm here to tell you to believe in the Hadith. Okay, just Hadith and Quran, that's it. We do not take any advice, any opinion, any personal opinion from anyone. So the question, if you have, now the biggest question is when we will see this river will dry up. As I said, the possibility is there. And the mountain of gold, another question people ask, the mountain of gold, they say that, well, this means oil. We do not take any hadith and find a different meaning. Okay, we take the ulama, the scholars of hadith, they take a hadith and take it literally. So if the Prophet says that dhahab, you will find gold, it means you will find gold, unless it is proven otherwise. So for example, you see that Dajjal Mahdi is here, and you see oil is being gushing out from the earth in around the Euphrates River, or in the Euphrates River, and then people are using that oil to become rich. Then you can say, yeah, the hadith meant dhahab here means oil. Then you can change your mind and say that, yeah, we understand hadith. But until that happens, we will take the hadith literally. Dear sisters, also a very, very important thing I want you to understand, this gold, okay, that will be revealed by the Euphrates River, people will be fighting over it. It means people will be desperate. People will have no job, no money, nothing in their pocket. People will have no food on the table. And this can only happen before the Mahdi, because when the Mahdi will be here, as we know, he will give people he will give people without count. He will give and give and give. So this Euphrates River will reveal the gold, subhanallah, before the Mahdi comes, when situation will be really bad, people will be oppressed. And I also believe, this is my personal opinion, very subjective, which is that the river of gold that will be revealed by Euphrates, through Euphrates River, by Euphrates River I should say, is going to happen after WW3. But again, Allah Alam, I do not know. I'm just letting you my opinion that after WW3, the Euphrates River will reveal the mountain of gold. Jazakallah khair. If you're new to this channel, consider subscribing, inshallah, right here, as you can see. And inshallah, I will see you soon again. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.